The phone rang while I was standing barefoot on cold marble, watching the lake outside my office window refuse to freeze. 71 missed calls blinked like a warning light I had already disabled. The voicemail was from my daughter-in-law. Her voice had that careless confidence people use when they think the hierarchy is settled. "If you want to join Thanksgiving," she shouted, laughing, "come wash the dishes." I smiled, not because it was funny, because it was precise. I sent one photo, the terrace of my villa in Switzerland, snow-dusted pines, glass walls, silence you can buy only when you've outlived the need to explain yourself. 3 minutes later, my phone began to vibrate again, non-stop. I didn't answer. I was thinking about Cleveland, about hotel lobbies that smell like lemon cleaner and lies, about boarding passes folded too neatly, about how betrayal doesn't explode, it leaks, slowly, quietly, until one day you're standing in the cold and something inside you finally hardens. My wife said Cleveland was work, always Cleveland, quarterly, predictable, boring, safe. She packed light, too light for a woman who once brought 3 coats to Miami. She stopped asking me to come along. She stopped asking me anything. At night, she slept facing the edge of the bed, her phone under her pillow like a second heart. I told myself it was stress, deadlines, age, anything that allowed me to keep breathing normally. But betrayal changes the air. I noticed the pauses before she answered questions, the way she showered immediately after returning, the way her eyes flicked to exits in restaurants, like she was measuring escape routes. Once, while unpacking, a receipt fell out of a jacket. Dinner for 2. Wine I don't drink. I placed it back exactly where it had been. Denial isn't blindness, it's a decision, and I was still deciding. I didn't raise my voice, I raised my awareness. Phone records don't lie, they just wait. Cleveland numbers appeared like a pulse. One contact, repeated, long calls, late nights. I hired a firm I'd used before. Quiet people, clean work, no questions that mattered. They followed the pattern. Hotel, same floor, different rooms, meetings that didn't involve conference tables. I watched surveillance footage alone, at night, volume off. There she was, my wife, smiling in a way she never smiled at home, leaning into a man who touched her like he'd paid for access. He was careful. Married men usually are. Corporate lawyer, mid-tier firm, thought lawsuits was something that happened to other people. I memorized his face, not out of rage, out of preparation. At dinner, I asked my wife how Cleveland was. She said, cold. I nodded. So was I. I didn't confront her with tears or accusations. I slid a folder across the table. Photos, dates, hotel invoices, his name highlighted in yellow, like a lesson for a slow reader. She didn't open it right away. She knew. When she did, her hand shook, her breath fractured. She said my name like it was a mistake she wanted to undo. I asked one question, how long? She cried. Answers spilled out between apologies that meant nothing. She reached for me. I stood, not angry, finished. Later that week, I mailed a copy of the evidence to her lover's firm and another to his wife. Then I filed suit. Alienation of affection, breach, damages calculated with the same care I once reserved for anniversaries. He called, begged, threatened, apologized. I let my attorneys speak. Silence is expensive when you're on the wrong side of it. The settlement came faster than expected. He paid to make it disappear. It didn't. My wife moved out. Small apartment, loud neighbors, thin walls, reality echoing back at her. Then, Thanksgiving. The call, the insult. She had told them I was finished, broken, isolated. I sent the photo. The phone rang 71 times. Messages followed. Apologies, invitations, sudden respect. My daughter-in-law texted, "We didn't know." I replied, "Enjoy." That night, I poured a drink on my terrace and watched snow erase footprints. Control isn't about domination, it's about timing. People think revenge is loud. It isn't. It's orderly, contractual, signed in ink. I didn't ruin lives. I removed illusions. My wife lost the future she gambled. Her lover lost the arrogance that made him sloppy. The family learned hierarchy isn't permanent. It's earned daily. As for me, I stopped explaining my absence. I stopped answering calls I didn't initiate. I stopped mistaking proximity for loyalty. The lake outside my window finally froze. So did everything that once made me hesitate. And in that stillness, I understood the truth. I didn't win because they suffered. I won because I no longer cared if they did.